Hi, this is Patti from Coaching for Inspiration with Patti, and today I just finished meeting with some other coaches. We were discussing, the group is called the Coaching Lounge, and we were discussing how to build your personal brand. So we decided today to get together, and the coaches are going to ask me some questions about leadership, coaching, and much more. And we're going to go around and we're going to introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Cammie.
Hi, I'm Melanie, known as Biz Coach Mel. I'm Davina Lyons, and the founder and facilitator of the Tribe Authentic Woman Workshop.
And Cammie, what do you do as a coach?
I'm a life coach, and intentional creativity is the kind of gig that I do.
And of course, you know me, I'm a work-life balance and leadership coach, and I discuss the hard things that happen in leadership, as well as being with self-development as well as self-care. So I'm going to have them start asking me questions on the fly and answer them. Who would like to be first?
Go ahead and go. So I was reading one of your past blog posts, and it was very informative. It's about the Inflexible Leader. Can you tell us a little bit about the characteristics or whatever you'd like to share about the Inflexible Leader?
Right. I'm sure all of us have had an inflexible leader, somebody that you go to and you try to discuss, this isn't working out, I'm trying it this way, and can we do it another way? And that inflexible leader says, you're going to do it this way, and that's just the way it's going to be. We've all been there. How do you get through to that person that this isn't working? Most of us cower and don't reapproach it again. It's okay to learn your leader and learn their style and figure out what is the best way to communicate. With an inflexible leader, you never want to put them on the spot. You want to talk to them personally, alone, so that if they do turn you down, it's okay. It's not out on the floor if you work with a group of people in cubicles. And when you ask, when you talk about the situation with them, be very calm. Come up with a solution and say the solution. And hopefully they'll let you try it. But normally an inflexible leader doesn't want to hear it, but then they'll think about it if you approach it right. They may think about it, and if they think of, and then put it out as their idea. Be okay with that. At least you're getting what you need and being able to perform that way.
I love that answer. It's awesome. It's like planting a seed, right?
Yeah, you plant the seed.
Awesome.
I one time had every March when my performance review would come up, I would write up a little memo to my supervisor at that time and ask for something. Every year that would come up. Now, he wasn't inflexible. He was a very good guy, and I loved him. He was a great boss. But it was something that he didn't believe in. But I would ask for it every March, and he always knew when I came into his office that I'd be asking for it. And he would say, Patti, someday when you're in my chair, you can implement this. But I never let it go. I would always be asking for it.
Very good. Love it. Melanie, you have a question?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to know for individuals who are working and they have a leader that is either inflexible or what a lot of people feel afraid to come out and ask for help, because a lot of times people want to put on their best performance, they're competitive, and so if you are struggling, how do you get over the fear of asking your boss for help or a leader for help? I'm thinking of instances in places, like you said, that have cubicles or whatever, it's a floor, and There are individuals who are top performers, and there's individuals who are, just average, getting by, and there's those that are underperforming. And for those that are underperforming, there's a lot of pressure for them because they're underperforming. How do they ask for help? A lot of times you find that individuals, it's not that they want to be underperforming, they're underperforming because either they don't understand something or they learn differently. So how do you get over the fear of approaching a leader when you need help?
What I would do is I would sit down and write out why you feel you may be underperforming. Is it lack of training? Do you need more training in one area? Maybe your computer skills aren't up to speed and you might need help with your computer technology. And write out a plan that you think that could help you. And when you meet with your supervisor, if you ever do, or if you never meet with them and you really feel you want, what I would start out saying is with them, I would set up a meeting with them and say, I'm kind of struggling in this area and I want to be a top performer. And I think that I may need some training in this area where I'm lacking and I'm weak. And have a couple solutions. Maybe you could take a course. Maybe you could sit with a top performer for 15, 20 minutes and see how they do things. Ask, and you never know what you may get, and it might be something wonderful. I think leaders, they want you to succeed. Most leaders do. And they want you to be a high performer. So if you have a solution or an idea of how your weakness point that you could succeed at, don't be shy, ask for it. Most leaders want you to succeed, and they may not know that you're struggling in that area.
That's good, yeah, because there are people who are afraid, and so if they know that, most leaders want you to succeed, and so you have to ask for help. No one is above you, right?
Right.
So.
It's the same as making a mistake. When you make a mistake, if you own it, people are going to respect you for that. Your leader will respect you for that. It's when you try to hide your weakness or you try to hide your mistake, you get in more trouble for that. Being open and honest, most leaders want that.
Yeah, I agree too.
All right, so my question has to do with the interpersonal relationships between the direct report and the leader. How important, with the work that you do, how important would you say it is to establish a strong relationship with your leader and vice versa?
Leaders do need to have boundaries with their subordinates, but they also need to understand their subordinates and know their subordinates, know them and love them, just like you would with any friendship. But you also have to have boundaries too, because people can take advantage of you if they think that they're your friend. So you have to learn those boundaries and get to know each person and get to know their personality and get to know how to talk to them and make your point come across when you need to. And just spend time with them, spend time mentoring them, spend time finding out a little bit about their interests so that you can connect. Connection helps build a team and helps build you and your relationship with your employee.
Good point. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for those tips, Patti. They're all very valuable.
Thank you for the questions. Does anybody out there have any questions for me about leadership?
Either now or during the replay.
Yeah, or at the replay, I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Okay, would any of the coaches like to ask me some work-life balance questions?
Oh. Yeah, now that you mention it.
Leadership and work-life balance go hand in hand, because in leadership, the demands, you're 24/7, but you also need to have me time and family time, friendship time, time away from work. It's important to take vacation. 2-week vacation is very important. However you break it up, you have to get away from work for a little while. You will burn out. You will burn out fast. And then you're no good to anybody. You're not good to yourself. You're not good to your house, home, spouse, children, and your employees.
Very, very helpful. I know for me, I actually was pretty much a workaholic and left corporate America because of that. And love now having work-life balance, having my own coaching career. So do you have any signs of that you're not balanced?
Yes. For me, I was the same as Cammie. I was a workaholic. I didn't know when to stop. And signs for me was fatigue, personality change, moody, health issues. You're not spending time with your family. You're putting work before your family. Those kind of things happen.
It's funny, we talk about work-life balance. The other thing, I don't know if it's like this for you, Mel, because I think you and I are real similar in that we like to have fun.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, a fun environment, it's non-negotiable. I have to have fun. That's one of my personal needs. Do you feel that way?
Oh, absolutely. Because the energy that is around you at all times is you're going to either get energized from it or get depleted from it, right? So depending on that energy, if it's positive, if it's upbeat, then even if you're having struggles or things aren't going your way, whether you're at a job corporately, so maybe a client has told you that they no longer want to continue, or if you're an entrepreneur, like all of us coaches are, if you, in the same vein, have a client that says that they don't want to work with you, or you have some hurdle, if you are around people that have positivity, that's going to help you in those times.
I think when we're burned out, we start showing those signs of not being, we're very moody. We start, and we're very tired, and we're not at our top performance because we're working all the time or thinking about work all the time. Work is great. Love work. But you do have to take vacation. You do have to take days away. When your health starts going, that's when you really know you're burned out. A lot of people, get heart disease, diabetes. I had an ulcer. Those are all signs of letting things get to you and not taking time for you.
I have a question. So what are some little tips that you would say for someone who is super stressed with their job and they don't want to bring that home, they don't want to bring it into their personal life, but again, we're human. And so if they're feeling overwhelmed at work, or they're feeling like, they have taken on more than they can handle with a project or whatever, how or what tips would you give to someone so that they can kind of de-stress before they interface with their family?
Okay, if you have a commute, I would really recommend that you turn on some relaxing music while you're driving home. And try to not think about work or you can't meditate while you drive, but you can pray. You can pray for calmness or peace in your life. If you don't have a long commute, one of the things that I told my family is could you give me 10 minutes so I can change my clothes, just unwind a little bit before you start, what's for dinner? All of those things. So I tried to have my family understand that I needed that 10 minutes just to unwind. So that I wasn't, you know, I think that phrase, what's for dinner, used to just, I'd be so angry, you know, I'd be so angry. Not, hi, how you doing? You know, I love you. No, what's for dinner?
My question was, what are you going to go get?
Where do we have it?
Whatever you want, just go get it.
You know,
No, I think you bring up a really good point to have that transition from, okay, one phase to the next. So if you have that 10 minutes, it's great, because when you come home and now you have that transition period from, you know, the business corporate kind of mindset. Even if you're an entrepreneur too, it's like, okay, to have that transition from, you know, thinking about business and you know, livelihood to now transitioning into more family, comfort, relaxation. You know.
and it's important to change your clothes.
Okay.
It's important to wash your hands.
Yeah.
Washing your hands is kind of like getting that energy off of
That's
you.
really good, yeah.
And I would take my shoes off. And if it was cold, you know, put socks on or slippers. But just having the change in your, you know, putting my hair back, you know, all of those things. It's changing from the corporate world to now I'm home and relaxed, and it's my family time.
You bring up such a good point. It's so funny because for me, I love being barefoot. So
Me too.
I do that in my house. So that's the first thing. As soon as I get home, those shoes are going off, and I am barefoot. I feel so comfortable. And you're so spot on with the socks, because usually I'm cold. So to put those socks on, that warm feeling on my feet, and then I'm always in like, let me get off the cute clothes and put on some sweats and a t-shirt and my fuzzy socks. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then the mindset is, I'm relaxed, I'm home.
Yeah, and you know, and once your family gets into the habit of giving you that 10 minutes, like my husband, he used to be home 3 hours before I got home.
Right.
So he was all excited about seeing me and wanting to tell me about his day, and I just wanted 10 minutes to just calm down.
Did you ask him what's for dinner?
I know, right?
3 hours.
I know, right?
Should be an 8-course meal.
Oh, Davina.
Every day I
As
was
he's
asking that.
handing a wine glass.
So one day he asked me, it'd be all bad. Good God. 3 hours? That's wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, but he went to work really early. So,
Sorry, Patty's husband.
any other questions for me?
One last thing. I always hear people say, we just talked about leaving, but coming in, that old saying, leave it at the door. How realistic is that?
It isn't. You've got a lot of things going through your head. And I really recommend meditation, learning how to meditate, because then you can push that aside. Or prayer, praying about it and then letting it go until that morning when you get up and you need to get back into that mindset. But it's true, a lot of things I think we're our worst enemies. We keep reliving those moments and moments over and over again instead of turning them off. We're our worst enemy.
And for some people, work is an escape from their things. I know I was that way
Yes.
for years. Once I got to work and I was a leader, so I had people, I always felt good. And even now, when I hit the classroom with middle schoolers, no matter what's going on, I feel great because I'm in their world now. I'm there for them. So I can see it. But I used to hate that comment, just leave it at the door. And I never said that to my direct reports. I always said, let's talk about it. Hence, I'm all about relationships. So for me, I would rather open the door and say, come on in my office, sit down, tell me what's going on, and maybe I can help them. I just, I know there's not every personality type as a leader will do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think it's so important to feel when you are at work to feel valued enough that whatever's going on in your personal life that's overwhelming, that you can feel safe at work enough to be able to reframe it and then get the job done.
Right. I mean, you want to have that relationship that people feel comfortable being able to come to you and as a leader and and say, this is what's going on in my work life.
But all personality types are different, so
No.
you can't do that with everyone.
Right.
And then there's the male-female factor. I get that too. So, opposite sex, it's not easy to talk about certain things. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious. I hope people comment on this because I think there's some really great golden nuggets that you're putting out here. And I'm just really curious in general what most people think. So hopefully on the replay, there'll be a lot of response. It'll be great.
Yeah, I can agree more.
We enjoyed visiting with you today, and please comment, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions. And have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.
Bye.